Welcome to Shape the Podcast, a podcast all about maintaining mental health by sharing stories from those who have overcome negative experiences and feelings, then turned them into something positive. Meet your host.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a live episode. This is a live episode, Jason.
It is. I'm very much alive.
You are. I know. Golly, it seems like we haven't seen each other in forever. It's because we haven't.
It's been a couple of shows. It has.
It has. It's been like a whole month, probably 2 months. I don't know. Life is lifing, and yeah, it's been crazy. What's up, Dino?
Howdy, Dino.
He tuned into the Bearded Respect the other night when I was on, so great to see him online. But
yeah,
speaking of lifing, how the heck have you been, sir? You know, I think Gent was the last time that we really talked to each other.
It was, and what was that? That was early June. So
first week of June, yeah.
5 weeks almost, yeah. Just hectic, man. It's summer. It's busy. It's work. It's everything.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you got the festive hair, right?
Oh yeah, got that red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
left of the white, anyways.
You went all out for America, but that's the question is, did America go all out for you?
Well, I guess as much as she can, you know.
Because you were in what, Lancaster, PA?
I was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Yep, that's where my wife's family comes from. So we don't get down there often. So we decided to go down.
Are they Amish?
No, not Amish. Just from that area.
Because that's a big Amish area. Big Amish.
It is. Yep, it is.
So how was that? How was getting away from Connecticut, going down to the slower pace of Lancaster, PA?
It was very nice. There's a restaurant my wife and I love downtown. See, most people don't realize Lancaster is not just Amish people and buggies and horse shit on the road and corn.
Yeah.
Lancaster is a city also, and downtown, a couple great bars and restaurants. And there's this one place we really love, and we only get there every 2 years when we visit the family. So
yeah,
it was nice for her and I to get away and spend a day just hanging out. And
nice.
Yeah.
So only one day? That's all you did?
Well, it was a day for her and I, and then it was
and then a day for the family.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure you were probably ready for that to end as soon as it started.
You know, it's a nice barbecue. People I love. I don't get to see them that often, so I don't mind.
Yeah. I didn't do anything over the 4th. I worked, and I saw fireworks from afar. So I was on call for the 4th of July with my work, and there were 3 water main breaks within hours of each other, and so whenever there's a water main break, I have to go out and make sure that there's no utilities interfering when they dig up that water main, So yeah, I got to see what's going on, Jeff Harmon. How are you, sir?
Hey, Jeff.
So I got to go out and see some fireworks from afar, driving down the interstate. But yeah, I don't know. Life is lifing, man, and that's why thanks for everybody tuning in. Tonight we don't have a guest, because life has been lifing. So if any of you who are in the chat right now want to come on, we'll be glad to bring you on, the podcast tonight. Speaking of the podcast, it's big thanks to Mr. Coffee with Brewer. He allowed me to come on his show last Friday and talk about it, which I thought was great. So it's good to see Dino and Brewer and Jeff, because they were all a part of that show last Friday in the audience. So yeah, it was good to go on there, talk about Shape, talk about why I created, Lord, it's been almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years next month. And it's crazy to think that it's been 3 years, you know. With that, speaking of next month, um, our our format will be changing a little bit. It's something that I discussed with Jason, and I think he's on board with it. And I think he's okay because he hasn't told me otherwise. But as of next month, the podcast will only be monthly. It'll be the first Wednesday of the month. So when next month will be August the 5th, and we'll have a guest on that show by the name of Ann Tossel. She is with Sealed Lips Destroy, which is a cool organization. She'll be coming on then.
Mhm.
But yeah, life has just it's been one of those things where it's at first it was easy to find guests to come on and talk about their stories, and then as it went on, you run through your gamut of people that you want to talk to. And
Well,
you're
you
like,
have
okay,
your contacts, right? You've
yes,
got the
yeah,
people you know and the
yep,
people I know
yeah,
and the people we meet along the way, but there's
yeah,
only so many people we meet along the way.
yep, yeah. And it's one of those things where okay, now it's like, all right, my life's getting busier. Jason's life's getting busier. Uh, Life itself is just getting busier. So to help create the to let the content still go along, um, we just decided that hey, we'll just do a monthly podcast, which will
Mhm.
still be aired on Facebook, will still be aired on YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Um, and you never know, there might be a surprise pop up podcast here and there. Um,
Sure.
we're just not going to commit to that right now. It took a lot of thought for me to be like, all right, I'm going to cut it back to once a month. Um, and I thought doing it twice a week was tough. I could never imagine these guys that like Brewer who do it every Friday. Like that's commitment.
Man, the work it takes, and I respect all the guys out there that do something like this
Yeah,
weekly. And then you've got all your post edit and all your uploading, and man, props to you
yeah,
guys.
and
That's a
and
lot of work.
and you do all that. You do all that for Shape. If it wasn't for Jason, none of that. Like being broadcasted to Apple, all the shorts that you see on YouTube and on Facebook, they wouldn't happen because I'm not that guy. I when it comes to the technical side, I could do this all day long, but I can't upload or edit anything. So I mean, really, and you do it for not only the podcast, but you also do it for Lucky Boy and
Well, I don't do much for videos like that for Lucky Boy, short
yeah,
of making a commercial or a promotional video or something. That's
yeah,
about it. But yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'd actually, honestly, I would rather be on this side of the keyboard than that side of the keyboard because it's easier for me to just sit back, smoke a cigar, and do all the editing. Coming up with topics to talk about, it just sometimes you just have to rack your brain to come up with the right questions for the right guests,
yeah.
and it's I'd rather be on the tech side, but here I am.
Well, I mean, you are. You're on the tech side as well. Uh, it's it's funny. I was talking to Ann, who's going to be on next month, and she goes, "So how do you do your podcast?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm more of an organic guy. I like it just to flow if it flows." I said, "Jason, on the other hand, likes to have an organized detail, like
Right.
summary. I
I
said
want
that's
a synopsis of the guest. I want to
yes,
do my homework for a
yeah,
week in advance, come up with the appropriate questions list for
yeah.
that guest,
So
and you're
it's
just fuck it, let's let it go.
yeah. That's but hey, it works.
And what worked was a combination of both.
Yeah. And speaking about fuck it's and letting it go, I'm this weekend. I'm actually going to be in town, but I'm going to be at a mental health art show,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna take my tripod. I'm gonna take my phone. I'm gonna take my wireless mics, and I'm gonna get some interviews with some of the artists there who have art pieces at that show. Those of you who watched 2 podcasts ago, I sat down with a young lady and she is actually going to be the organizer of the whole thing. And so she was like, "Hey, you need to come down, get some content." So you'll see that pop up on the channel from time to time.
Mhm.
Jason will edit all those together because I don't know how to do that. Like, I'm not that guy, and it's so yeah. I mean, the content may change a little bit, but it will all still hold the same story. It'll all still be Shape, because Shape is sharing hope and positive energy. It doesn't have to be an individual story. It can be an organization story. It can be a story of just somebody doing something positive in the community.
Yeah.
To help it from what it was. So that's really where the podcast is going to be going. It's been a fun 2 years, almost 3 years doing this every other week. And I truly believe that the third year, come August, will be good as well. You'll see some familiar places or faces and places, and then you might see people that you don't know. Like next Monday, me and Jason are going to be pre-recording a podcast with a couple people from the show Ink Master, which I think that's going to be a great show. That's going to be a great podcast. And
I texted Livy tonight,
yeah,
and I let her know, and she is super excited for that one.
yeah, and that will be actually probably released in September, so or maybe August. I don't know, but yeah, well, one of these days we'll release an episode with some upcoming guests, Kyle and Candy Dunbar. Kyle is from Ink Master. He has a really cool thing that he does. Called the Tattoo Project. It is
Phoenix
dealing with
Project.
What's that?
Isn't it Phoenix Project?
Yeah, the Phoenix Project. Yeah, that's right. It's a tattoo project called the Phoenix Project. But and what he does is that he tattoos burn victims, and then not only burn victims, but he also works with people who are suicide survivors, cancer survivors, any type of mental health issue,
gang violence.
Yep.
Victims.
Yeah, he covers up gang tattoos. So yeah, I met him and his wife a couple weeks ago in Gatlinburg, and I've met him before at some tattoo conventions, but just as a fanboy saying, "Oh man, nice to meet you," or whatever. But it was really cool to like sit there and talk. We talked for a good 30-35 minutes about what he's doing, and then of course I pitched the podcast to him because, I mean,
well, it falls so naturally in place with what he's doing.
Yeah. So I'm actually stoked about that. I think it's going to be really good, and that'll probably be my biggest guest, I would say. Because he's nationally known. So I don't know how I feel about that one. Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, but he was on the earlier Ink Master shows. Yeah.
So
and he's
Livy. Everybody who remembers Livy's story knows about her past and her mental health struggles, and she has always gravitated towards tattoos. She's probably got 20 on her at this point, and she's only 22, and she used tattooing as a way of. The only way I can express the way I perceive it as controlled pain, used as a coping method. So to her, the whole premise of that interview and what he does in his nonprofit side is it's right up her alley. She's really excited to see this one.
Yeah,
I respect it, knowing what Livy's gone through and getting tattooed with her. It's great that somebody is providing that outlet for those that may not be able to afford it, but he could still provide them with that coping method.
Yeah, it's really awesome because and he'll talk about it when he comes on, but like when he was talking about it, like you could tell that he really cared. Like this just wasn't something that he was doing to get notoriety because he doesn't need it. The guys from Ink Master, but it was something that you could tell that him and his wife they really cherish to heart. But the conversation. Oh man, what's he saying? Yeah. So that has happened, sir. That Cyan and Gatlinburg, you know, and it maybe something along the lines of a mental health event will happen like that soon. You know, we shall see. You know, like I talked about the other night on the podcast with Brewer and them. You know, everybody knows me from bearding. Well, now that's kind of gone away. It's been a year really since I stepped on the stage, and now my focus is really turning into what it is today. You know, with the mental health side of things. You know, so it's good to have those purposes and for those purposes to change. You know, I mean, heck,
it's not a change in purpose. It's just an evolution.
Yeah. Your purpose is evolving. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay for to step away from things. You know, like it's. But one thing that I wasn't gonna do is step away from this podcast. You know, it's. And I've discussed this beforehand on the show. It's really hard to have a podcast like this, and A, you get the guests, but then B, you want to make sure that the story resonates with somebody somehow, somewhere, you know, and you want to feel it, you know, and then you get too wrapped up on, okay, did anybody listen to it? Did anybody watch it? You know, it's a hard thing to do, you know, with that, because I want this, yes, I want this podcast to reach one person, but I also want to reach more people, you know?
Well, so one of the worst things to me is right up in this corner of my screen.
You can see that number.
The counters, right?
Yep.
And you get hyper fixated on it. Like,
yep,
well, how many people are commenting? How many people are watching? And it's like, it doesn't matter because it's not just the people that watch when it's live. It's the people that watch it down the road in perpetuity when it's on Apple or when it's on YouTube or when it's on Facebook. And somewhere along the line, somebody's watching it at a later point in time. And you know you're going to connect with somebody somewhere.
Speaking of our guest in August, she's actually in the room.
Yes, here she is.
Hi, Ann. How are you? It's me and Jason, of course. You know, so she thought she was talking to me the other night. She was talking to you.
Yeah, I commented as Shape the Podcast. So
yeah.
I have to get in the habit of putting -Jason at the end of our comments, or Kyle for you, so people know who it is that's commenting.
Yes. Well, because like, you know, when we make posts on the pages and the groups, it actually shows our names. But when we go into other groups, it doesn't. It just says, "Hey, it's Shape the Podcast."
Shows the username, right?
Yeah. So, and I've already hyped you up. By the way, I've hyped you up for August the 5th. So everybody knows to tune in August the 5th and see you come on. But yeah, you know, it's always good to evolve your purpose in life, and I want people to do that. You know, don't settle for what you think you need to settle for. You know, like, I mean, obviously Jason has settled for chops and a mohawk. That's seems to be his
gloriousness,
his thing now. But you know, it's you have to. Oh, Anna, I'm sorry. Heaven forbid you pronounced your guest's name wrong. It happens. And I'm not even drinking tonight. Okay.
Maybe you should.
You know, no, I'm good. I'm trying to even think. I drank Friday night. I drank on the Bearded Respects podcast, which is weird. I'm on a bearding podcast talking about mental health with a bourbon in my hand. Is that? I'm not contradicting myself because it's well, yes, that is correct. All right, we can that'll be another show. The Men with Glorious Beards podcast. I don't know if there's one out there. Copyright that. We're gonna use it. What's up, Thomas Bars? Speaking of an awesome individual, that guy right there, and him and his wife are great people. They've supported me and my ventures, I guess you would say, on the non-podcast side. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to see people that show up and support you, you know, even when you're not doing what you used to do. I think it's cool.
But you keep implying not doing what you used to do, or this is another step. But
this is it.
Your show still has the same purpose.
Yeah. Oh yes, I'm talking about my bearding purpose.
Oh,
Yes. Wait, hold on.
well, listen,
We're saying that
bearding
it's actually
is what led to this.
yes, that is true. Yeah, the beard started this off. Wait, there is actually a Glorious Beard podcast. He was a guest on it. So Anna, there you go. Look up the Glorious Bearded podcast. I'm sure you can find more bearded men.
I just find it amazing that somebody else made a podcast about us.
Yeah. Or
I mean, it has
about
to be
them.
about us, right?
Yeah, I mean, except for this show. This show is not about us. This show was never
The
created.
Glorious Beard one.
I know, right? I'm gonna have to look it up. It should be called the Glorious Beard Show with Mental Health. I don't know. I'm just saying. But how would you write that? Like, how would you do that in a title form? That would be one long title.
Not enough room in the title. Speaking of Livy,
yeah. Hold on a moment.
what's up?
Shots fired on that. That could hurt Jason's mental health. Okay.
Oh,
Wait,
it's a partial beard.
And technically speaking, if you want to get on the beard subject, sir, it's 2 beards.
The more the merrier.
It's 2 beards. I mean, that's what some of our
Connected by a glorious mustache.
yes. and by the way, since she's in already, go check out Anna's store, Sealed Lips Destroy. She's put out some great content, putting out some great merchandise, which I need to get a couple of shirts.
I was looking at shirts yesterday.
The fuck fentanyl shirt is a really good one, and then she has a couple of cool other shirts that have some great meaning on them. Maybe one of these days, Sealed Lips Destroyed and Shape the Podcast can do a crossover. We shall see, But yeah. Hold on a minute. The chat is live. She started something there. I mean, you didn't start something that wasn't already created. Like it was already created. You just brought it up and made it even better.
I'm in one of these zero gravity chairs.
Yeah.
And I don't know. My ass is just the right size and in just the right position. It keeps slipping backwards on me, and I can't keep it down.
Well, why do you have a zero gravity chair? Is that your wife's chair?
No, they're nice. You lay back, take a nap in the sun. It's comfy.
And then next thing you know, you're on your head because you laid back and took a nap in the sun.
Oh, well.
Speaking of sun, it's great for your mental health. Last week, it was really hot and humid here, and the sun was out almost every day.
It was disgusting last weekend.
I went to the pool and tried to get sun, and I didn't get burned. So no, the topic of tonight, speaking of Sealed Lips Destroyed, there is no topic because we did not have a guest for tonight. The real topic was the podcast will be changing to a monthly podcast. The first Wednesday of the month, there will be a podcast, and then that will be it. So that's really, this was really just a hangout episode to just catch up and talk about the future of the podcast and the changes of the podcast. Like we talked about earlier, it's been really about people's stories. People coming on and sharing their stories of overcoming negativity and making it a positive. But now what I'm doing now is I'm reaching out to not only individuals but organizations or community events that are making positive changes in their communities and their lives. So yeah,
Right.
what?
Like we mentioned earlier, we've kind of run the gamut since we started of
Yeah,
our friends and acquaintances and their stories, the ones that were willing to talk, and then now it's kind of the people we meet along the way, the pool
yep,
of guests that we had as captive friends, and we've worked through them. So
yeah,
uh, now it's harder and harder to find guests. So we're stretching into different places to look for good guests. So it just makes it a little harder, and therefore we're going to just space them out a little further.
yeah. And like I said, this weekend I'm going to that event, so I'm gonna do networking there.
Hmm.
I did that small little podcast a few weeks ago with my buddy David. And talking about
Hmm.
how like he doesn't really have a mental health side, but he's doing a lot for the community and opening up doors there for people to uh, come on and do his stuff. And yes, you are correct. I've been wanting you to come on and on the show, but life happens. Sometimes people they say that they're ready to come on, and then when they come on, they're not ready.
And sometimes the day of, they're
Yeah,
not ready.
yeah, they're not ready. Yeah,
It's not easy the first time you publicly start to talk about the things you've dealt with. So
no, and
remember, like, to
especially
be pushy about it.
um, especially with people that you don't really know.
Mhm.
It's it's easy to talk about like the shit that you've been through with people but then when you get onto a podcast and you're talking, everybody's gonna hear it. It's really hard. And
However, I could also see where it might be easier for some people
yeah,
because I don't want to say there's anonymity, but there's a disconnect when you're talking to people that you don't know. So
yeah,
for some people, there's a value in being strangers as opposed to being friends when you're telling your story.
yeah, true. And I want this podcast to be that value. You know,
Mhm.
so if any of you have friends that we don't know,
Mhm.
but that might be a good guest for the podcast, let them know to reach out to us. They can easily reach out to Shape the Podcast on Facebook, Gmail, Shape the Podcast at gmail.com. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, that's I don't really take a look at it that much. Maybe I should, but it's one of those things where, like Jason said, we run that gamut of the people we know and that are willing to come on, and then once we get to that point, it's like, okay, what am I gonna do now?
Mhm.
And yes, did I fail at finding a guest for the night? Yes, I did. Did
No, it's not a failure. At any point, Kyle, it's never a failure. It's just that we didn't find anybody for tonight. That's
Yeah,
that's all it is. It shouldn't
yeah,
be classified as a positive or a negative thing. It's just something that didn't
it just
happen,
happens.
and that's
Yeah,
okay.
that is. Yeah, and it's okay with the direction that the podcast is going to be going. I think that it's going to be great. Hold on. What is Anna saying? She's excited to finally come on. She has to stop hiding. I started going back to meetings 2 months ago, and my world's opened up so much. I feel like I regained my confidence and sharing my voice again. That's a great thing,
Mhm.
and it's good that you were able to find that. A lot of people don't. You know, that's why you've seen the suicide rate has been crazy here because those people have been afraid to share their voice and talk about the
Mhm.
stuff that they've been through. So it's good that you are able to find your voice. You know, well, there you go. Uh,
Mhm.
you have a while, August the 5th. It'll be live like we're doing now. So everybody, tell your friends, tell your family
Mhm.
to come on to that show. I would like more support. I go watch these other shows, and I'm like, man, look at all this. It's like the chats are blowing up, and everything's off the chain, which to me I cannot keep up with. You know, but it's just yeah. But
Well, this is actually quite different tonight, is without having a guest, where we're often focused on the guest and the conversation.
yeah,
We're focused on the conversation in the chat, which we
yes.
typically don't get to see.
And by the way, um, I never give up on people. You know, I might give up on myself at times, but I never give up on others. You know, so we did not give up on anybody. You know, it's like you said. You know, there's at times that are right, and you're ready for it. So I'm proud of you. Well, sir, you know, I don't really have much else to say. You know, I feel like we've done what we accomplished. You know,
Mhm.
letting people know about the upcoming schedule changes. Again, this podcast will air again in July. So July is still going to be the same, but come August, we're going to switch to the first Wednesday of the month
Mhm.
from here on out. Plus, August the 5th will be the third anniversary of the podcast. Like, it's mind blowing.
The actual date is
That
your
I
anniversary date.
so the actual date is the end of July, but yeah, it was around like the 5th of
Got it.
August. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
around the beginning of August 3 years ago when it started.
Yep.
So yeah, so you know, and of course Anna will be that guest on that one. So what better guest to have on the brand new format and also the brand new third year than
Hmm.
Anna? You know, somebody who's now willing enough to come on and share their story. So
Yep.
we appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting us these past few years. Please continue to support us. Share us out with your friends and family, strangers. Um, I have stickers, by the way. So if anybody wants to shape the podcast sticker, I I have them. Um, I also have Jason's shape the podcast jersey. Yes, it's it's here at my
Let me
house.
see it. Let me see it.
Well, I entertain the crowd. I'll be right back.
Entertain the crowd. I'm not the talker. You're the talker. I'm just here for comic relief. So Kyle made these great baseball style jerseys, and it's not my kind of thing. I love my t-shirts, but these were so cool. He did a great job on the design. He showed me his, and I'm like, yeah, man, I got to have one of those things. What's the story behind the name of the podcast? Okay, so SHAPE stands for, it's an acronym, Sharing Hope and Positive Energy.
Yes. Oh, and you know, like yeah, like Jason just said, I caught the tail end of it. You know,
Mhm.
it's all about people coming on, telling their stories of what they've been through, and
Yep.
then sharing what they're doing today. But Jason was talking about the baseball jerseys that were just made. They were a limited release. I only 5 people in the country have one. This isn't Jason's, by the way. This is my wife's. But I don't know if you can all see it.
Aren't those cool?
And so it's got the shape of the podcast on the front, and then on the back it has the number 23 because that's the year that the podcast was formed, and then it has our slogan on the back. So yeah, and then on the sleeve it has maintaining mental health, which is um, the slogan that's around it. So yeah, yeah. I thought they were pretty awesome. I wanted one for myself, and I've been trying to look to get them made, and I found a guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll make them." So yeah, Jason has one coming to him. I just have to mail it off.
Eventually.
Yeah, you know, I'll get my wife to take it to her work. There's a post office there, but you're looking at it. This this is this is this is it. This is my therapy. Like I mean it. You know, when the shit in my life is going really hard, you know, I come on here and I have guests come on and share their stories, or I have organizations come on and share their stories. You know, this is it. You know, I do things in my community for others that I would have never thought about doing 3, 4, or 5 years ago. You know, I mean that's how I maintain my mental health. You know, that a glass of bourbon every now and then doesn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all about.
That's
It's all
a
about
coping
fellowship.
method if it's a controlled coping method.
Yes. Don't do it if you can't control it. But
Yes.
like Jason is maintaining his mental health right now by smoking a nice cigar. All right. Yes. Jason likes the finer things in life, cigars and mohawks. But yeah, so yeah, that's the jerseys. I might, later on down the road, I might put it out there again if anybody wants one. I might do a second run. I might find a less expensive company because the quality is great, but I just thought it was a little too much. But it's all right. It happens, So yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. July 22nd will be the next live one, and it won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded because that's going to be the Kyle and Kenny Dunbar episode. So we hope you tune in for that, and then come back in August after July. Keep on coming back, as they say. What's going on, sir? You have something else to say?
I was just going to say, so 2 weeks away, we have our next one.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks after that, we have another. And that's when once we get into August, is when we'll be on the first of the month.
Right.
First
and we'll make that schedule. We'll make that announcement in the Facebook pages and the Facebook groups.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it, everybody. Hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for everybody tuning in and talking in the chat. I kind of like that. I kind of like conversing in the chat room. And yes, that is right. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. That just doesn't mean AA or NA. That is life in general.
Yep.
That's one thing I learned. All right, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Good night, everybody.